Hey guys, a little feedback from the Marzano text. Chapter 4 talks all about how to design assessments, just overall. Designing assessments definitely takes time and practice, and a lot of trial and error and reflection. That's all kind of a part of being a teacher leader, not being afraid to try these new things and to share your results with your coworkers. So when you want to design assessments, you got a few options. You got obtrusive, unobtrusive, and you got student generated. Typically, when we think of assessments, we think of quizzes, tests, things that are concrete, things that are practical, and that you can kind of hold. So Marzano notes that there are different levels in designing these obtrusive assessments. Your selective response, your multiple choice, fill in the blank, true, false, matching, that qualifies kind of as 2.0 basic content knowledge under Marzano. Constructive response questions should also be included on these assessments, either short constructive response or essay questions. Those kind of meet those learning goals and really connect to the larger picture, the more advanced knowledge, maybe even past that learning goal. So the 3.0 and the 4.0 scores. Now, you can get half points. It really just depends on how well students answer the questions, but there can also be what Marzano notes as aberrant patterns, and those occur essentially when scoring assessments, when your students maybe answered 2 of the selective response correct, but 1 or 2 incorrect. In that case, it's always good to, I think, talk to the student, meet with them, but also kind of look at the pattern of scores altogether. If all the students did pretty bad on that area, if they all kind of missed one answer, it's important to maybe exclude that from your assessment, but also to go back over and retouch on that, because that kind of points out an area where students are lacking the knowledge. Teachers can also use oral response questions. I do that a lot personally. I like to use clickers in my class, allowing students to answer A, B, C, or D. And then I like to ask my students, okay, why did you answer A? Why did you answer B? And that's another way you can kind of formative assess. So if they get it correct, 2.0, okay? If they go beyond that and can explain why they got it correct, 3.0. Maybe if they can connect it to another piece of content, they score a 4.0 on that scale. Now, when you get to unobtrusive assessments, this is really just kind of observations and making mental feedback notes. So if you observe a student performing a task outside of when you ask them to do it, that's kind of your unobtrusive assessment. So they could, you could teach them a goal or an objective, and they can practice it outside of your classroom. That's a great job. Does a great job of showing that they kind of understand the objectives themselves. Student-generated assessments, I kind of want to really push this next year, having students, recognize that they didn't do as well on a test, and they can come to me with a suggestion. Hey, I did really bad on connecting the cause and effect relationship between World War I and how it affects the world and starts World War II. I want to do XBC project to show that these two are connected. Overall, designing assessments really depends on your classroom. It really is going to take practice, and it really is going to take a lot of reflection and a lot of working both with your peers as well as your students to let them know that, hey, this is what I'm going to try and do. This is what I really want to focus on this year, and this is what I think will make you guys successful outside of the classroom.